What's going on, guys? It's been a couple weeks since I've last updated, and we are now in the middle of the 24th week of contest prep. I'm down about 11 pounds, and I'm finally starting to look more like a bodybuilder. There's still a ways to go, but I really am excited, encouraged about the potential that I'm fulfilling. So even at the ripe age of 45, going to be 46 by the time I hit the stage again, I'm pretty optimistic that I'm going to be able to deliver, the best package yet. So just right now, just really excited. And the past few weeks, I've really developed a nice rhythm and flow to my days. And basically, it's just, kind of just setting up my daily structure and trying to execute that structure as best as I can and trying to keep everything consistent day to day. When it comes to, when I train, when I kind of eat my meals, my macro distribution across my meals, just trying to keep all that the same day to day. So when I am collecting the data, it's definitely precise, and when that data is precise and when it's consistent, it's a lot easier to interpret the data and to make the best possible changes I can make when needed to my prep. So right now, like I said, just a nice rhythm, a nice flow, and I'm kind of in the zone the past few weeks. And I wouldn't say I'm in the zone as in I'm thinking about bodybuilding 24/7, but again, just having that nice rhythm to my day where I'm just like executing with no major stresses at all. And so I'm really kind of hoping that this momentum will carry for quite some time. But just mentally, just in a really good place. And as far as the life outside the gym, ever since that tragedy in the beginning of October, where my wife's cousins passed away in a car accident, it definitely gave me a lot more clarity and perspective on the importance, of my family, and how, just not wasting, 1 second, and not, stressing over those little stressors in life, those little daily stressors that sometimes I could get caught up in. But after that, and just taking some time to really do some deep thinking, it just gave me a whole new, um, I shouldn't say whole new, but a lot more clarity and perspective of what's truly important in life. And, family is it for me. And, if I'm happy, if they're happy, then everything else around me becomes much easier to handle and to actually to enjoy even more so. So bodybuilding is definitely it's important to me. I love it. It's my passion. But at the same time, it's not that important in the grand scheme of things. And with that perspective that I've been really trying to, keep at the forefront, I think that's the main reason why I've been in such a zone and such flow the last few weeks. So I couldn't be happier both in and out of the gym right now. Things are going extremely well. So, as far as the nuts and bolts of this prep, where I currently at, I should say, as far as, we'll start with nutrition. Right now, like I mentioned earlier, as far as like meal timing and macro distribution and all that, I've been trying to make things look the same every single day. So I've been having 5 low days, and the macros they're right around 40 fat, 250 to 300 carbs, and then my protein is right around 180 grams on those low days. And then I have 2 refeeds per week. Those are back to back, and those are on Saturday and Sundays. And those I basically auto regulate. If I feel like I had a really good 5 low days where I dropped pretty considerable amount of weight, maybe I'm looking flatter than I'd like to, or energy levels are kind of really tanked out and just not really feeling all that great. Performance maybe slipping a little bit towards the end of the week. Recovery might be hurting a little bit. Then I'll probably take 2 larger refeeds. if I'm feeling pretty decent, not too much, I don't look too depleted and things like that, I'll keep a more of a moderate refeed, 2 moderate refeeds, and I'll also auto regulate those refeeds based on life events as well too. So if there's like a special date night or something like that for my wife and I, then I make room and account for that with those refeeds. As I get closer to showtime, because I'm still months away from the stage, but the closer I get to the stage, then those types of things I start to tighten down on those things. And of course, I always communicate those things with my wife. So, if I have, I have to say, hey, babe, right now I got to buckle down. These are the reasons why I have to buckle down. Usually that, with that conversation, it goes over pretty well because we're both on the same page. She understands the reasonings why I'm doing things. And I also listen to her concerns as well. So, try to have a give and take there. But the nutrition, yeah, it's been those macros probably for the last 2 to 3 weeks. Prior to that, my fats were a touch higher, carbs were closer to 300 on most days, on those low days. But for the most part, yeah, the nutrition's been roughly the same the last couple weeks. And prior to that, it was like I said, closer to 300 carbs for the weeks before that. So the only major like revisions I've made is with cardio. I've ramped up cardio through October and in this month because I'm the month of October, November, and December. I'm trying to get in there and dig a little bit and to see if I can knock my weight down. Get closer to 185 by the end of the year. Right now I'm sitting at about 193. So if I can get to 185, that would be a victory. If I could get to 186, 187, 188, not too bad. That would be a nice starting place for the start of the year. So the cardio I've been ramping up, that's been anywhere between 4 to 5 sessions per week, 30 minutes per day. It's usually lists in the morning on my recumbent bike, first thing, right out of bed. I don't usually like to eat anything like right when I roll out of bed, so that's the reasonings why I do my cardio first thing out of bed on an empty stomach. It's just I don't like to put food in my stomach when I first wake up, and that's the only time I can, practically get my cardio in during the day. Basically, I work during the day, and then the kids come home from school, my wife comes home, so it's not really ideal for me to sit on a stationary bike for 30 minutes while I'm leaving them to do what they need to do. I need to be more involved in the family. So for me to do cardio and to fit it in a practical way, it's first thing in the morning right out of bed. So that's the reasons why I do the cardio there. In regards to training, I strained my lower back at the end of September. Now here we are in the middle of November, and I'm very close to getting myself back to 100%. It took me some time to get my deadlifts back to 100%. I accomplished that goal a couple weeks back, but I didn't. I should say my squats. I'm about 80% back. So while I was working on those deadlifts, I wasn't really focusing on squats. I just thought that if I tried to squat and deadlift at the same time, trying to, come back from a low back strain, that would be just too much of a burden on my lower back, and the recovery probably wouldn't be all that great, and the likelihood or the chances of a setback were greater. So I just told myself, okay, let's do one lift at a time. I got my deadlifts up. Now I'm working on the squats. So basically just slowly trying to increase loads on a weekly basis, and really paying attention to that recovery. There was, I think it was like 2 weeks back where I was supposed to squat on a particular day. My lower back just wasn't feeling it. I actually did like my first warm-up set and it just felt very tender. So I was like, you know what? Let's just give it another day's rest. I went in the next day and it felt much better, and I was able to, perform a bit better on that day. So just trying to stay smart with the approach. Another thing that I've done with training was that I was on a 3-day split for about a month. So after the low back injury, after a major life tragedy in our life, that the stress levels were obviously much higher. So my performance in the gym really was suffering, and my recovery was suffering. So what I did was go from a 4-day split to a 3-day split to get a bit more recovery. And with that recovery, I was able to start performing better on a 3-day split and recovering better, obviously. So I know sometimes it could be a little like an insecure feeling to kind of tone your volume down, thinking like, okay, if you tone things down, you're not going to progress. But in this case, for me, it made the most sense, and it actually got me performing better. And I was actually able to, increase volume even on a 3-day split. So that worked well, and it was also allowed me to kind of, get my lower back healed up and get the deadlift and the squats moving again. So last week, what I did was I went ahead and added that 4th day back in, and basically what I did was now, because on the 3-day split it was hitting each body part once per week. With the 4-day split, it's basically hitting legs twice per week, and then the upper body, each body part in the upper body just once per week. So my legs probably just a touch under from not being able to train them properly while nursing that lower back injury. So I just want to make sure that I don't lose too much on the legs. So that's why I'm kind of hitting them twice per week right now, and I'm keeping the upper body like toned down for now, just so I can ensure that I'm still recovering well. So once my legs and my squats and all that get acclimated and up to speed again, then I'll slowly transition, to a 2 times per week body part split. So upper lower, upper lower. So just kind of just trying to stay smart with my training, keeping it just treating it like a dimmer switch, not either on or off, but just slowly turning that dimmer switch up and letting my body get used to each level of intensity, increasing that dimmer switch up a notch or two on a weekly basis. But the other changes I made, training wise, was I kind of stopped benching and went to dumbbells, just because my bench press really hasn't been doing anything the past few months. So I was like, okay, I'm really not getting stronger here. So instead of trying to beat a dead horse, let me just go over to dumbbells and really focus on the dumbbells for a while. And that's been feeling really good, and getting good chest recruitment. So I've been enjoying that. And then the other change that I made, or I should say the little adjustment that I've made, is just with every movement I do now. I mean, I've always kind of practiced good form, but now I'm like kind of like really emphasizing it, slowing things down just a notch. So purposely on some movements, not all of them, but like deadlifts, just making sure that I'm like really just staying on top of the form, not getting too loose, keeping it nice and tight. Same thing with my squats, slowing the descent down and keeping that nice and controlled. And just, even like my lying hamstring curls, just making sure everything is locked in and just really isolating the muscle. So not so much thinking that by doing this it's going to create more progress or to create better stimulation. I mean, if it does, great, but that's not the objective. The objective is basically to kind of ensure that I don't hurt myself, basically, and to make sure that I'm not developing any more aches and pains, so I could train, so I could keep myself in the gym and training at the highest level that I possibly can. And especially now, at the age of 45, that's something that I really need to pay close attention to. So just really just trying to tighten things down in the gym, and just, some of the ways that I like to try to, keep that longevity going is, playing with rep speeds and things like that. So that's basically kind of how my training's been going. In a nutshell, yeah, it's basically kind of how my prep has been going. So, for now, I'm just going to try keep chipping away day by day. And like my brother says, just win the day. Because if I win the day, that just means I'm going to be a little bit better tomorrow. So right now, like I said, I'm in a good flow. I'm enjoying the shit out of this prep right now, enjoying my family, enjoying life, and couldn't be happier. So we just got to keep this momentum going.